Loony Laura Loomer has been let out of the bin again, but this time she's doing our jobs for us by destroying MAGA from the inside. Laura Loomer tells Trump that it's time to unleash Palantir's spy software on the LA protesters, something that did not go over well with the Republican turn MAGA morons who didn't realize that MAGA is not the GOP. See, the GOP might have been the party of small government, or so they said, but Trump does not play that game. He doesn't seem to give two flying fucks about reducing the size of the government. See, for every hardworking, loyal government employee that he's fired, he's going to hire one loyalist fascist goon. And generally, what Laura says isn't newsworthy, but recently she has had a concerning amount of power and sway, not only with members of Congress, but with the president himself. I mean, with Melania and Trump essentially being estranged, this might be the face of our new First Lady. If you like this kind of coverage that MAGA hates to see, then you know where to find it, right here at Really American. And drop a blue heart so we know that you're here. The tech billionaire who bankrolled J.D. Vance's political career is at the center of a new MAGA war over fresh plans to use Big Brother surveillance to deport illegal immigrants. As protests rage in Los Angeles over Donald Trump's immigration crackdown, some of the president's most loyal supporters are outraged over a deep state contract awarded to Palantir Technologies. The controversial data mining company co-founded by venture capitalist and Vance campaign donor Peter Thiel, also known as the only confirmed real-life lizard person.
I don't know what to say. I still think you should try to make an argument.
My argument is that guy is an alien until proven otherwise. Government documents seen by the Daily Beast show the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, awarded Palantir the $30 million contract to develop a new surveillance program known as Immigration OS. They're trying to make it seem like it's a fun thing that Apple is tacking onto the next iPhone to help the agency identify and arrest illegal immigrants, making it easier to deport people and track and report self-deportations with near real-time visibility. Here's Looney's entrance. Trump acolyte Laura Loomer, I think they're a little bit more than that, embraced the idea, posting on X this week, time to deploy Palantir tech to Los Angeles to deal with the illegals. You know you'd love to see it. You're lying if you say you wouldn't. Now, this is the part that kind of pissed off the rest of MAGA because they do not want to see this. Trump embracing Peter Thiel is not surprising, again, considering that Peter Thiel bankrolled J.D. Vance's entire career. I mean, I'm even starting to hear the argument that this whole time, Trump never was Hitler. He was Paul von Hindenburg, and it's President J.D. Vance that we should be afraid of. Here's what MAGA said in response to Laura. Laura, I don't care what the excuse is. One cannot in any way, shape, or form claim to be a conservative or patriot and support this, replied John Sable, founder of Texas-based conservative event group The Patriot Voice, whose outrage response was one of hundreds. It is literally antithetical to the notion of smaller government and in favor of a bigger government totalitarian system. Palantir has until September to develop a prototype of the Immigration OS software. Not having it, ICE warned, severely limits its ability to expedite Trump's deportation plans and target the gangs MS-13 and Tren de Aragua. But the plan is particularly contentious because it comes after reports that the administration may also be using Palantir to build a database of personal information on American citizens. I wouldn't be surprised if Immigration OS and this mysterious other program are one and the same. If you're already making something that tracks people in the United States, what's the difference between them having papers and them not having papers in the system? That's just like one of the boxes that you check, right? So I think we're already seeing a sneak peek of what this thing is going to look like. Well, we haven't seen it yet, but Laura's calling for it, and we have until September. The New York Times reported earlier this month that the Trump administration had expanded Palantir's work across the federal government, giving it more than $113 million since Trump took office, as well as new contracts with the Department of Homeland Security and the Pentagon. And here comes the MAGA whisperer to tell us what the base is thinking. As much as I hate Steve Bannon with every bone in my body, the one thing I will give the man is that he knows what MAGA is thinking. He did an interview with Chuck Todd where he basically admitted that MAGA is not happy about this Palantir thing.
Some of the Palantir stuff that's going up now, I think everybody's got to take a step back.
Let me tell you about this Palantir stuff. If a Democratic administration had done this, where would your level of outrage be?
I think War Room.
We're putting together a database.
I think War Room would open every show about it. We're pretty upset about it. The MAGA base is not happy.
And they stay muted on this. I mean,
and Palantir is a Democrat company. You know, so the guy got religion here recently. This is my point about conversions.
Do you think they were ever Democrats? I take your point. Just because you were one, or do you think they're just transactionalists?
Well,
I do think we have transactionalists in this country.
They're techno-feudalists.
I mean, nobody's happy about this Steve Bannon. Anybody who can see further than their elbow can see what Trump's planning on doing with this information. This system is incredibly dangerous in anybody's hands. There's a reason why all of this data on Americans, like the IRS data, your immigration status, all of that stuff is separated. It's a protection thing. If all of our information on all Americans was all in the same spot, well, then that's just a one-stop shop for bad actors. Even Nick Fuentes, the uber Nazi, is mad about this.
What happens when that federal government has a Palantir system with the U.S. enemies list integrated with their student loan information, their medical information, their tax information, social security information, their vaccine status? What happens the next day after that? The people that are running cover for this and saying this is normal, this is innocuous. And now Palantir is going to maintain an enemies list with all of the federal government's data in one master database, in one system wielded by Trump and then J.D. Vance. And the right wing is cheering for it. This is the state of the country. I've been warning about this now for years. People said I was crazy. People said that's overblown. They said, Palantir, I don't even know what that is.
And to top off the irony cake with a big ol' hypocritical cherry, here's Laura Loomer herself saying, must watch. Alex Karp, the co-founder and CEO of Peter Thiel's company Palantir, says that their product, known as Gotham, single-handedly stopped the rise of the far right in Europe. Peter Thiel calls himself an ally to the right while he works to destroy us. She used to rant and rave against Peter Thiel and Palantir and has for years. But this poster here points out the real danger. The fact that this woman has the ear of the president is terrifying. And she has a ton of power. Here's a situation that's just happening today. So an heiress to the Walmart family, Christy Walton, who's a bit estranged to the family because the Waltons, if you don't know, are like the conservative cabal of evil in America. And Christy Walton is the one progressive family member, right? Well, Christie put out an ad calling for people to protest No King's Day on June 14th, the same day as Trump's little military parade this Saturday, which has nationwide protests planned. You should find the one that's near you. Be safe, but make your voice heard out there. And then Laura Loomer, who personally sat down with the executives of Walmart and convinced them to release this statement. We condemn violence, including when it's directed towards law enforcement and the damaging of property. As a company with associates and customers in the Los Angeles region, we remain focused on their safety and that of impacted associates. The advertisements from Christy Walton are in no way connected to or endorsed by Walmart. She does not serve on the board or play any role in decision making at Walmart. Loomer added that Walmart was very receptive when their executives were contacted with her concerns, and they didn't push back when she said a statement would need to be made today. Absolutely insane, but on top of that, she's got the voice of our representatives. Representative Nancy Mace just filed a major bill at the behest of Laura Loomer, who has long railed against the Islamic Brotherhood and claimed that any Islamic person that she doesn't like is part of their ranks, and now she's getting Nancy Mace to register them as a terrorist organization. The amount of power that this woman has is absolutely staggering. She looks like and is the kind of person who should be complaining to a Walmart manager, not the executive board. The fact that she's pushing Palantir does not bode well for the rest of us. So please, if you're able, make plans this Saturday to go out there and tell Trump that we do not want kings in America. I'm Tony Hinderman with Really American, and I'll catch you next time.